watching Mining Headlines of the Week. Hello and welcome. I'm Devin Morgan. We start here. It's been 3 weeks since a landslide at Victoria Gold's Eagle mine left more than a kilometre of debris in its wake. Part of the heap leach pad at the site collapsed, raising fears that cyanide is now spreading into the groundwater table. Victoria Gold has faced sharp criticism for its infrequent updates on the incident, which saw its share price plunge more than 85% during the last week of June. And it seems the worst is yet to come, as nearby communities are at risk of contamination from the spill. Well, the Northern Miner's Blair McBride has been at the forefront of the coverage on the story. He joins me now. Blair, thanks very much indeed for coming in. So you've been on the story even before this latest landslide. And there seems to be an apparent drought in information. I mean, that's through the calls for accountability and prevention. How did you navigate through that, getting the type of information you've got?
Yeah, so I mean, the company itself has only put out 3 news releases since the accident. The Yukon government has held news briefings every week since then. I think today will be the 4th one. So, and these usually last about an hour. So there's obviously a lot more information coming from the government than there is from the company. And then from my own research and from speaking with current and former employees of the company who've approached me, that's how I've also filled in some of the informational blanks in this related to this incident.
And a lot of information, quite jaw-dropping, have emerged from those conversations with those current and former employees. Flouting of regulations being one of them. Tell us more about what they told you.
Well, one source, so let me just back up for a second. There was the podcast interview I did a couple of weeks ago with Adrian, the Northern Miner podcast, and a lot of people listened to that. One guy who has worked at the mine approached me after he heard the podcast. He described to me the safety culture there to be, in his words, a cowboy operation in terms of safety regulations often not being followed, lots of corners being cut, lots of attempts to cut costs with not much concern for the results, and seeming push for production over safety, basically.
Now, as we look forward to your pieces coming up, there's a lot of unanswered questions, a lot of issues that many people, including investors, would like to dig into. One being the future of the mine and its operations, and the other being the safety of communities that may be exposed to this cyanide spill that came as a result of that landslide. What kind of stuff can we expect in your pieces just going forward over the next few days?
Well, so the Yukon government is going to hold a press briefing today, which I'll attend. I'll also be speaking with the First Nation of Nacho Nyakdun, who's the mine sits on their territory, and they have pursued their own independent water testing of the creeks in the area. I'd really like to get a story out on the financial side of this, because Victoria faces a large amount of debt already, and with this situation now with operations suspended, it doesn't really have any cash flow coming in. So I'd like to speak with a financial expert who can give me some perspective on that. And I'm also looking to speak with a geotechnical engineer who could give me a perspective on the technical aspect of heap leach operations.
Well, we'll look forward to those pieces. Blair McBride, thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you.
To this now, Fortescue Metals Group is cutting around 700 jobs in a major restructuring move. That's 4.5% of its global workforce. The Perth-based company says the move will keep it lean and agile as it scales back on its green hydrogen ambitions. It says acting CFO Apple Paget will step into the permanent CFO role to ensure financial stability. Now, the group has been steering away from iron ore, which remains its main revenue source. Numerous senior staff departures have raised concerns about the current strategy. Fortescue says its goal to produce 15 million tons of green hydrogen annually by 2030 is on hold until electricity prices drop. The gold price reached another record high this week. Analysts put it down to expectations of interest rate cuts in the United States and safe haven appeal following the assassination attempt on former US President Donald Trump. Gold has soared nearly 20% this year, supported by large purchases from central banks and strong consumer appetite in China. Spot gold climbed to an all-time high of $2,483 an ounce before pairing gains on Wednesday. Iron ore futures prices fell to a nearly 3-week low on Wednesday. The drop is driven by weak seasonal demand from China and rising global supply. China's property market heavily influences iron ore prices because China is the world's largest consumer of iron ore. Much of it is used in construction. The September iron ore contract on China's Dalian Commodity Exchange dropped 2.7% to about $110.78 per metric ton on Wednesday. The price was the lowest since June the 26th. Rio Tinto has appointed Katie Jackson, a former Shell executive, as the new head of its copper division. Jackson, who is currently president of National Grid Ventures, will start her new role on September the 1st. She will replace Bold Bata, who will become the chief commercial officer later this year. And that's it for your mining headlines this week. Bye for now.